Alright, hey, what's up? Welcome back to Outriders. First of all, let me apologize by saying that I'm sorry I didn't cover this topic earlier. I literally just got home, I saw your messages, I saw the comments, and I did not realize that this was such a big issue. So a big warning for anybody who is playing Outriders right now or who is about to maybe wake up and jump into the game. Please, for the love of God, don't play any multiplayer sessions right now because you are at a pretty big risk of losing your entire inventory, and chances are you're never going to get it the exact same as it was before, especially for those of you who maybe got best in slot items, maybe god rolls, maybe perfect rolls for your builds. Just hold off and maybe avoid any of that, especially following yesterday's update. So here's basically what happened since yesterday, because yesterday we covered the new update. I was also pretty, surprised that they released it this fast, especially since initially they announced that the component that fixes the crashes, the multiplayer and the inventory wipe bug, among other things, would be released next week, as they want to do a lot more testing on it so that it doesn't ruin more things than it fixes, which made a ton of sense. Taking another week to see if these fixes work and they don't ruin the game anymore, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But for some reason they decided to release it way earlier, which was last night for me. And I went to sleep thinking that, okay, this is pretty awesome, they were pretty fast on this one, so I hope that everything gets fixed and people are gonna get back to farming and playing and just enjoying the game overall. Well, guess my surprise when I checked online like earlier today and I saw pretty much all of the media bombarded with people getting their inventory lost. Now, I'm not entirely sure how much of the player base is affected, but it seems that there's way more reports than previously. There's like 85,000 people on Steam right now alone playing out of the all-time peak of 115, and I think that the peak is going to happen in another 5 more hours or 6 when the US or whatever side of it wakes up at that time. So basically, if you're not yet there, if you're about to do that, or if you're already there, I suggest holding off playing on the multiplayer because you might end up in a situation similar to this, like OK Entertainment 112, which is one of the many threads I've seen all over Reddit and Twitter, and my subscribers, a lot of you guys have also told me about this. Essentially, he was already like almost 100 hours in the game, almost about to hit eye level 50 year on his Devastator, and he tried to log in with one of his friends, join a multiplayer expedition, and play to get the last final pieces to make his build complete. But somewhere along the way he got a crash following the new update, and that resulted in him losing his entire progress and, well, in this case, inventory. That is over 1 week of just farming and grinding, and we all know how hard it is right now to reach eye level 50, especially for a Devastator. So this is just one of the threads, by the way. Chances are that if you're looking online, you're going to see a ton of similar posts like these, and this is how it's going to look like if you lose your inventory. And yeah, that's why I avoided playing multiplayer in the past few days, even though I did join a ton of you guys and let a lot of you guys join me as well. But I would turn off that multiplayer co-op completely off, and also turn off crossplay just in case, because you never know what might happen. So maybe definitely do that and just play solo and be done with it. Maybe level a character instead or do something else. This is pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie, but for some reason I'm not really sure why they decided to release this update so soon when it was planned for next week, especially since it didn't even get implemented in the time they thought that it would get implemented. So like yesterday we talked about how this would be released on all platforms eventually. Initially the deployment for the PlayStation 5 patch tonight was unfortunately delayed, but they announced that they would be working to still deliver it ASAP this weekend. The PS5 patch is required to stabilize multiplayer/crossplay with patched PS4s and PC versions, and we are doing our utmost to not keep you waiting. So it's clear that they were rushing things so that they thought that they might fix the issues that people were complaining it, which in turn caused a lot more, and now we are pretty much in the worst case scenario for this game. Now later on, like 5 hours ago, PS5 patch became available. Downloading this patch will enable crossplay between the platform and the PC. We are continuing to work hard for the Xbox team. It's not even out yet for the Xbox, so maybe that is a blessing in disguise for you guys, since you're not getting the new patch that might cause these issues. So maybe take that as a freaking blessing. But eventually, as the new update was rolled in, as hours passed by and people realized that they just lost everything, it became apparent that this is a big issue. Even like People Can Fly came in with an announcement. We are aware and deeply sorry that some users are continuing to encounter an inventory wipe. We are doing everything we can to resolve this issue, both server and game side. Our plan is still to work on a restoration for all affected accounts, and we have the details in just a little bit that I will talk about, because there's a big disclaimer attached to that. So just looking at the replies from this comment alone, like the first 3 people already lost their entire inventory, or at least partially. There's like a ton of people who like didn't post screenshots, but they did mention that they lost it. This was affecting the PS5 user base and the PC user base, maybe also the Xbox ones as well, but they didn't get the update yet, so it might still be the old bug that was also removing inventory, but maybe not on such a big scale as the other 2 platforms. So co-op, not only was it unplayable, but it's also in shambles, with people like just losing everything, and a lot of people, for good reason, I understand that, are done with the game, are putting it off simply because they fear that their entire progress might be completely wiped. Now, it's not going to be fully wiped. There's going to be a restoration. It is going to happen. It is going to affect, well, pretty much everybody who lost anything. And if like the last one is anything to go by, you might even wake up with a few more on top, maybe on other characters. Like for some reason, I found my Devastator to have all of the legendaries that my Trickster had, that I never lost them on the Trickster back when I was farming the demo, if you remember that. So I'm not really sure what happened, but here is the big disclaimer that we have right here. First of all is the fact that only the epics and the legendaries are getting restored. So maybe if you were holding off some cool, let's say rares, or maybe even greens that might have had proper stats, but you wanted to roll the mods later, they might not be a part of that. Well, there's a big chance that they might not be a part of that. Another one is the fact that these wipes will not restore you your exact one-on-one version of the same item back, even though you might get a legendary with the same name. Like for example, you maybe lost a specific legendary weapon with a specific set of mods that might have been best in slot, or maybe the same with an armor piece. You're not going to get it the exact same back, because it's going to roll randomly as it's given to you in your inventory. So this is like the worst approach that they could have taken, but on the other hand, it's likely going to be impossible for them to even restore the exact same items, because it looks like they aren't rolling back accounts, but rather just compensating. And second of all, it seems that like the issue is so widespread at this point that it's clear that it's because of those server issues. Had they kept the single player offline and just let people play offline, it would have been way better. And if you wanted to play online or co-op, just connect to the online servers and have it that way, like how Borderlands did it, or so many other games before that and after that. Now, I've also been looking over on the Steam community, pretty much the same. New patch, join game results in crash, all items gone. Another one like 4 minutes ago for me, joined multiplayer game, got disconnected, lost all items, and a ton more on top, like a ton more on top. Every single hour are posting that they have lost all of these. People are asking refunds. Now this is the worst case scenario for People Can Fly. I have no idea why they rushed this update. This was clearly intended for next week, but maybe they thought that in releasing it earlier, maybe after their internal testing, they did not notice these issues appearing, and they thought that they would be able to like fix the previous ones that existed in the game. So I would even suggest, again, holding that co-op on close. Just press escape or enter the pause menu, and just close off that session, put the privacy to closed so that nobody else joins in, so that you don't crash either in that situation. That's also very important if I weren't clear enough. This is it. I'm gonna keep you guys updated with everything Outriders related. When it gets fixed, hopefully I'm gonna keep you guys updated. In the meantime, what I want you to tell me is to go ahead and let me know in the comment section down below if you had this bug appearing to you. Was it happening after the new patch, and what caused it in the first place? This is it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.